How you doing, everybody? It's your old pal James Larson from 94.1 KRNA Radio right here in beautiful downtown Cedar Rapids. If you've clicked on this link, well, we're going to drink some beers because that's what we do right here on the Craft Beer Corner. As always, I couldn't do this show alone, so I will introduce my favorite two knuckleheads. You guys are getting a little upset with me calling you that, but I'll start with Drew Knutson from the Mellow Mushroom. How are you, my friend?
I've been called worst. Hello, James.
Yes, you have. And over here from Metro Studios, he's kind of a marketing genius. His bio says anyway. He drinks a lot of beer. Kirk Hayden, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing well.
And your summer's going well. You told me in our production meeting you've been drinking a lot of beer this summer.
Well, I don't put a quantity on it, all right? Quality,
right.
All right? So, no, actually, it's been a really good summer, and there have been some really, really good beers, as you know, Drew, that have been released in this town alone.
Yeah,
right.
First show, if this is your first show, or if you've watched many, James, so excited about this show.
And, you know, each week, we pick a different brewery to focus on or a different beer, and we could pick whatever brewery we want. But this week, we're doing something different because, and I'm going to let you touch on this, but we're talking about a beer that's not even out in the stores yet. It's a brewery, and it's called Tighthead Brewery. It's a suburb of Chicago in Mundelein. I hope I'm saying that right. And they came to see you. And if you don't know, Drew runs the Mellow Mushroom in Coralville, Iowa. He's got 74 beers on tap, soon to be 75. So what do you know about this beer, and why are we trying it today here on Craft Beer Corner?
Yeah, the owner from Mundelein Brewery, they came out, had a great conversation with him. He gave us quite a few beers to sample. We brought arguably what we thought were the best three. Really excited. Now, you got to watch Danielle do some great jobs in the video here of taking pictures of the cans. So they're going to be out packaged in your Hy-Vees, things of that nature, and then you're going to find them at some of your favorite watering hole, definitely Mellow Mushroom, on tap. And so yeah, let's get to the beers because that's what this show is all about.
Yeah, and before we take our first sample, Kirk, you're the marketing guy. As far as marketing goes, as far as the can looks, what do you think of the cans? They're pretty flashy.
They're excellent. I mean, you know, I think that's what a lot of breweries have been doing now. They want to grab your attention when this beer is sitting on the shelf at Hy-Vee or wherever, and these are excellent. I think a lot of us know about the Exiles of the world out of Des Moines. They do a great job with their packaging, and there's certainly a lot of other ones. But yeah, it's kind of exciting. I think a lot of people actually might judge a beer just by how the can looks.
Or the name if you're in a bar.
Right. Or as an establishment. How many times have you had somebody say, wow, that's a really cool beer tapper over there. Give me
a sample of it, for sure.
Right,
for sure.
Exactly.
All right, what's the first beer, James?
Well,
let's do it. Again, this is Tighthead Brewery.
Yeah.
You got to remember it because you're not going to find them yet. Give them about 3-4 days. It's going to start hitting next week.
Right, and if you watch this podcast, you know that I'm the novice, and I'm just going to come out and say it. You talk about packaging. Well, I'm going to talk about the title. I'm a little scared here. It's a pale ale, 4.8% ABV, so it's not going to hurt you. But chili water? You sure I'm going to like this? Chili water?
Yeah.
Let's talk about this as I sample this wonderful chili water.
Well, again, we're going to go up in the procession of these beers as far as strength in style. So we start at the pale ale because we do it. This is the James beer, if you will. And so this is going to be the easiest drinking if you're a novice. And a pale ale is easy to drink. Chili water, James, they're talking about you can just chill and drink it like water.
Okay, so I looked at it the wrong way. So, I'm thinking, all right, chili water, is this going to be spicy? Yeah. Is it going to have a kick?
Yeah, 4.8%. You know, your Bud Lights of the world, they're going to be right around that 4.3 to 4.5%. So you're right in that ballpark as far as understanding what your consumption rate needs to be. Very refreshing, and a pale ale, not hoppy. Very easy to finish.
Right, and for me, no heavy malt. Okay, and again, I think you said it, but if you didn't, I would call this a session beer. Okay, low in alcohol content, one that you can drink all day long. We know we talk about that all the time.
That's his tagline.
Right. So for somebody like Tighthead Brewery, they're probably their big competitor for a beer like this would be a Founders All Day IPA, which is a session IPA, very easy to drink. So this is rock solid. This is really, really good.
A little bit of an aftertaste. What is that aftertaste that I'm tasting? It's not a bad aftertaste, but it's got just a little bit of a kick to it. What is that?
Yeah, so a pale ale, not hoppy. It's not the hops. What you're going to do is you're getting the malt out of that. So what Kirk said is not real malty, so it's not heavy because it's got a very clear color to it. So what you're picking up there is the body. Bud Light's put very little malt in their beer, so you get like a finish of like literally water, no aftertaste at all. Right. And so a pale ale, by design, is supposed to have a little bit more malt to it, so a little more body. That's what you're tasting.
Now, for me, Drew, these guys reached out to you. So Tighthead Brewery, obviously big metropolitan area outside of Chicago. They've been around since 2011. What's the reason that they come out to Iowa City or Coralville or even to Iowa? Is this just looking at it as a distribution opportunity for them?
Well, for sure. So it's all about growth, right? So you look at the greater Chicago area, they've got more than enough customers, right? So they start to saturate the market. They're doing very, very well. And because they've done so well, they've expanded their brewery. And so now they have a chance to distribute outside their greater area. And they came to the Iowa City, Cedar Rapids area.
Now, we don't have to pay those high Illinois tax rates, do we? Because I don't want to fix any roads over there. I live in the great state of Iowa. We'll get to that later. But all right, beer number 2. It's a red ale. I'm really excited for this one. 5.6 ABV. Can I read my own writing? Is this a Scarlet Fix? Is that what this is?
Scarlet Fire.
Fire.
Yeah, the Scarlet Fire, and it's a red ale. You know, I tell you what, this is one of my favorite styles. Kirk, is a red ale.
That's a little different.
There is a lot of people afraid of a red ale,
right? Because they remember Killian's.
They remember,
which is the only beer we had to drink many years ago.
Killian's.
Yeah, because it was Killian's was arguably the first red beer out on the market.
Yeah.
So color scared people. And so, we first drink and eat with our eyes. And so that's, but red ales, I tell you what, they are so refreshing and they've got a really, really good finish.
Yeah, this is a great balance, I would say, of malt and kind of even like a toasted barley.
Yes, absolutely. You bet. And that's what you're getting, James, is you're like, whoa, what is that?
It's a little fiery for this guy over here.
Little toasty,
the chili water, I'm going to put this one a little closer, but the thing about this that I've learned when you try craft beers, don't take that first sip and set the beer down. Remember on the radio show, my morning show last week, you brought in a beer, and after the fourth drink, we had a little food pairing with it. I fell in love with the beer, so I'm not going to count it out yet, but we do have one more to get to, and we only have a couple minutes left, and this is the Bears' Choice, okay? And is this a playoff of the Chicago Bears then?
I'm not 100% sure, but they're just outside of Chicago, so I'm sure it is.
I'm a Viking fan, so I can't drink it. I can drink it.
So this is an IPA. Kurt, you go first. This is your style.
Yeah, this is all about you there, Mr. Grumpy Pants.
Well, finally. Okay. I do like those other 2 beers, so I don't want to be Mr. Grumpy Pants on those. Mm-hmm. But again, this is Bear's Choice. I think is a really good. It's a 6.5 ABV. I think it gets a really, really good high rating average wise on Untapped. So, I would look at it and I would certainly try it. I think it's hoppy enough for me. It's got a little citrus, a little grapefruit to it. Very, very drinkable.
Yeah, I like it, and I didn't think I would when we were having the production meeting. We talked about beers. I'm in my head, I'm thinking, all right, I know I like that one, this one, but I really like it, and believe it or not, it's very refreshing too.
Yeah, we've talked in other shows about New England IPAs, and they're a lot cloudier. They're unfiltered. This is the traditional IPA. The American IPA is the style that it fits under. So if you like hops, you're going to love this beer. It's hoppy.
Well, for me, guys, my choice is going to be, no surprise, number 1. I'm going to go with the chili water. So if you guys are listening there from Tighthead, I can send you my address and you can ship me some of this. But I always like to end the show here with Kirk Hayden because you're basically our handicapper, if you will, and you're going to give us the rating. So let's start with my favorite, number 1, the chili water.
You know what? I thought it was really good. And again, I like pale ales, so no surprise there. I thought that was a really, really solid. Right around a 4, just maybe a titch under 4. I don't drink red ales, but Drew, good choice. I would pick this up. I would drink it maybe all day long. Again, low alcohol content in the grand scheme of things at a 5.6.
Yeah, at a 5.6. We didn't mention that, I don't think, earlier. 5% ABV, and for reds, if you like something toasty, you're going to love that beer. But go ahead.
Yep. And so, but again, as you guys know, we'll always end up at the IPA, and I think this is really good, and I'm actually excited. Drew, you brought me another IPA that I love the can, and I will be having that on a Friday evening sometime soon.
That's another one of their choice. We only have time for 3. That's their Erie IPA.
Yeah.
So you can watch watch for that one as well. It's called the Erie.
Yeah.
And last thing, when you do your rating, you gave that first one up for explain for people who are just watching the show for the first time. It's not a scale from 1 to 10, is it?
No, it's 1 to 5.
Okay.
And for me, and this is just me personally, on Untapped, I usually start around a 3 to a 3 1/4.
Right.
If it's below that, I'm never touching it again. But for me, a good beer is going to be around that 3.5 to 4.5. Nothing ever gets a perfect score. For
anything over 3.5 is a good beer.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
All right, guys. Well, we got to wrap up. This is what we do in the podcast. We try to keep it concise and to the point, but Mundelein, Illinois. You know, really, Tighthead's putting Mundelein on the map because I would have never said Mundelein if it wasn't for Tighthead Brewery.
No, without a doubt. Thank you to Tighthead Brewery and watch for it. We look forward to seeing you next week.
All right, folks. Thanks so much for clicking on to this episode of the Craft Beer Corner. For Mr. Kirk Hayden and Drew Knutson, I'm James Larson. We're here. We're making beer drinking great again.